What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another SNA podcast. And this is the wrestling news video, where I'm talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the Wrestle Zone article on January 20th, 2024. We're going to start off today with Seth Rollins suffers torn MCL and partially torn meniscus. Current WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins suffered an injury on the January 15th episode of WWE Raw. A new report provides an update. Seth Rollins beat Jinder Mahal to retain the title on Monday night, but he was seen limping after the match. Wade Keller of Pro Wrestling Torch then reported that he suffered a legitimate injury. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful reports that the word in WWE and sources near Seth Rollins is that he suffered a torn MCL and a partially torn meniscus. Sapp writes that it is not currently known whether he required surgery. However, the hope is that he will be able to avoid it. It is unclear how WWE will deal with the injury on screen. Sapp notes that Rollins has worked through many knee and plenty of knee problems in the past, and sources highlighted his toughness in finishing the match on Monday. WWE has pulled Rollins from upcoming live events in the aftermath of the injury. There are different types of MCL tears, as they can vary. They can vary in severity. The severity. They note that most people recover from non-surgical treatment. However, athletes may want to consider surgery due to the stress sports put on their knees. Cleveland Clinic notes that a grade 1 MCL torn can heal on its own within 1 to 3 weeks, but grade 2 and 3 tears need proper treatment. Is that WrestleZone will provide more information as it becomes available. And what's your thoughts on Seth Rollins' recent injury, possibly being a torn MCL and perhaps a partial meniscus tour? And do you think it's only going to be for like 2 or 3 weeks, or do you think it's going to be longer than that, and it might need some medical treatment? Like if it's like second or third tear. Let me know in the comments down below. But I'm hoping it's something like a I'll say, let's hope it's like a first tear, like a number one tear rather than two or three, because I do not want to see him missing WrestleMania, including having a dream match with CM Punk, and it'll be a like in a what's it called match in a WrestleMania dream match or worthy dream match, if to correct myself if I'm wrong, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Let's move on to the next wrestling news. Now it's
Shut the fuck up, your mom had her nigga in here or whatever.
I'm done. Uh, okay, we got some Gail Kim news now. Sorry if I had you wait for a little while. But anyway, it says Gail Kim says TNA's return will be a magical ride, reflects on emotional hard to kill pay-per-view. Gail Kim is excited about the new era. Is excited for the new era of TNA wrestling. Impact Wrestling is no more, as TNA Wrestling has returned. News of the company's rebrand was first announced at October's Bound for Glory event. The TNA Wrestling name was then officially brought back at this month's pay-per-view last week at TNA Hard to Kill pay-per at the TNA Hard to Kill pay-per-view on January 13th. TNA producer Yo Kim recently spoke with Sportskeeda's managing editor Bill Pritchard about the transition into this uh, new era, highlighting some of the things that fans can expect to see from TNA wrestling moving forward. And she said, "For us, we've we always just been on the way I look at it. This can consistently slow climb of progress, meeting our goals of just having people tune back in, because we kind of lost a lot of people throughout the years, and I think just a little bit of negativity, because we have so many different regimes go through. I think the last couple of years have been just these slowly steady steps of improvement, where we're we where people see that our product is a great wrestling product. I I think we have a great team now, Kim said. Gil Kim has seen a lot of her time with TNA, with plenty of ups and downs along along the way. However, she can't recall a time that morale has been higher than right now. She's She explained the excitement of working together so that people can see that we're just a great wrestling product. I think a lot of people are seeing that the last couple of years, people have been just so positive, leading going into Hard to Kill. The buzz was just all positive. I didn't see any negativity. People negativity people were flying into Vegas to see this event, and it was it was everything we imagined that it to be. It is to, and I'll say that was true. That's true because we had the debut of Dolph Ziggler and Dana Brooke, well now known as Dolph Ziggler's real name, his real name Nick Mimith, and now known by his and now Dana Brooke, which he's now known as Ash by Elegance, which I believe Ash is short for her real name, which she showed it. I'm not sure if it's Ashley or another name that start off with Ash, but I remember seeing that on her Instagram post, like it has her real name under her cap under her post, like under I mean not post, I mean under her profile username. So so I would so I'm guessing it's short for it's short for something. I forget what was her first name, but anyways, and uh we also had Mercedes Monet and Bailey attend the show because I think they were showing some support for Trinity, their best friend from WWE, like when they used to work together in the Stanford-based company when she faced off against Jordine Grace, but she came in a losing effort, but she unfortunately came up short in a losing effort to Jordine Grace, which she handshake and show of respect. And speaking of that, I forgot to say Darby Allin it was a passing of the torch moment to Darby Allin, even though it was on Rampage. But it doesn't even have to be in the grandest show, the biggest, grandest show in pro wrestling for a legendary veteran to pass the torch to a young upcoming star. But anyways, it says an emotional, hard to kill event since Imp- Impact TNA began operating under the direction of Scott Demore. Kim believes that product has delivered a compelling content in the areas of storytelling, story angles, character development, and in-ring action. Looking back on their most recent PPV event, Hard to Kill, Kim revealed that she had become very emotional about it. She said, "To my husband, the next day, I started getting emotional about Hard to Kill. He always makes fun of me because I never cried at our wedding. He he goes, "You cried for wrestling and you didn't cry on our own wedding?" And so the next day I talked to him and he goes, "So it it went it went well." And I said, "Yeah, I I just started almost like getting emotional." I said, "Okay, but why am I feeling like this the next morning in the gym working out? I'm just so excited for the future and what's to come," Kim said. "The momentum has been great. We've injected new, fresh talent into our company that I think everyone is excited for, from fans to our own roster, our company. I think they're gonna going to have a, going to have a magical ride. And what's your thoughts on what she said about this and about the pay per view in general, and having like pretty much everybody show up for the event, and it made her emotionally, absolutely emotionally. What's that? I'll say made her emotionally joyful. I should say, yeah. Which even made her husband crack jokes on her, saying, like, you really getting emotional now rather than our wedding day. But anyway, but that's their business. I'm not getting in it, but I'm just laughing at the matter, like, or not laughing, but being very I'll say feeling very chuckled right now for learning this news like right now. But let me know in the comments down below and what your thoughts. But anyways, it also says right here, right, with her being asked about this, but did not ask, I should say, more like the what's old can be new again. Well, that's they did ask that. Bill Pritchard asked that from a Wrestle Zone. As Kim now looks towards the future, she has asked to identify a staple of the previous TNA era that she would like to see potentially woven woven into current programming. In response, Kim suggested the idea of bringing back the TNA Lockdown event on a in a in a Quinn no Neo Quinn basis. She said, I know as a talent after a couple of years, I did not like lockdown because it was very limiting year after year for after the matches to be in a cage and and to be and to be different, but I wouldn't mind seeing it come back. Gail Kim said, maybe not annually, but maybe once in every 5 years or something really truly special. I think I think there is a group of fans that really loved it, and I know that the girls have. I never I never got the experience ultimate got the experience ultimate X Queen of the Mountain, but I think a lot of them have not experienced the steel cage match, which is kind of almost a basics of a gimmick match. As we call it, it's something a little bit rare. I feel like I haven't seen one in a little while. It says TNA is in Orlando on January 19th and 20th for 2 nights of television tapings. Where watch our full interview, which is over here, but I believe I'm not sure we'll have that much time to watch the interview. At least not today, but when she does or Gail Kim um of wishing they can bring back the steel cage match, like being every once in a while match, like at least for every once in the 5 years, like if not like if not every year, like have a steel cage stipulated gimmick match rather than a rather than being like than just like than just this typical gimmick no DQ matches. Like a normally DQ matches, like whether if it's there lock it down or not, lock down. And do you guys would agree with Gail Kim? Do you think they should bring that back? And then she even admitted that she never been wrestled in the Ultimate X match, which they did a very first Ultimate X Queen of the Mountain match last week on the Hard to Kill pay per view. The winner gets to get a number one contenders match with either Trinity or Jordynne Grace, which I believe, which which I believe like she could have a match like if she ever lace up her boots, which she did. Which even though she did said that she promised she'll never wrestle ever again, like or at least not compete in ring competition again. But I think she could have at least one more match with this. I mean, I would say, I, but then again, I would say that well, I'll say, but then yeah, I would say maybe this could but then again, maybe this could like she could just stay retired, like, but never say never because she did came out of retirement. The team with, yeah, that's right. Like, I'm trying to be stuck, but I would say the last because she did have the last match, the team of Jordynne Grace and both Trinity and Jordynne Grace, with Awesome Kong and I believe Mickey James. Was somebody else like, but I think it was Mickey James. Like, and they teamed together against the heel side of the women's tag team in in last in from a few months ago when they had their 1000th and a 1000th episode anniversary, I believe. But yeah, again, yeah, let me know in the comments down below and about what your thoughts on to this interview with Gail Kim. And let's move on to the next wrestling news. And sorry, I got stuck right there, but I was like thinking what would could be the what was their last match, which was in back like last year toward the end of the year when they had their 1000th episode, which I believe was between in September or October. I think it was September, yeah. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is hmm, we got some Ricky Starks and like on teaming with Big Bill, like and he said we've with him saying we've really made something out of nothing. And Ricky Starks addressed his status with Big Bill. Starks seemed primed for a singles push in the AEW this past push in this summer when he was suddenly this past summer when he was suddenly put in a partnership with Big Bill by October. The duo defeated FTR to capture the AEW World Tag Team Championship and have reigned ever since. During a recent interview with Gabby Spisa of Gabby AF, Starks revealed how he views he how he views his partnership with Bill, noting that they are still two single stars working together. with him saying, this past summer with Collision, there was a trajectory with me going up, and now me and Big Bill came together after All In with me as a manager and him as my manager. With me managing him, I mean, with him and with me managing him, and then it turned into a tag team. So it's been fun. It's been very cool to see how things have escalated. Me personally, though I always tell people that we aren't a tag team. And he also continued, yes, we're the tag team champions, but we're still singles wrestlers because I don't want someone to think like at the end of the day, he is a great duo to be with. Starks added, we we are just two workers just making it by where we are teaming like we're not team, we are tag team champions, and we've really made something out of nothing, and I think that's something to be said for both for of us in terms of our talent and ability. And what are your thoughts on to this comment of say, oh, yeah, sure. Man, all started with him managing Big Bill like back in September, I believe, and then we officially be a team and become tag team champions, which they're reigning like to this day as. And also, what's your thoughts on him saying they're not officially tag teams; they're just single stars that came together and they're just a powerful duo that they can even make tag teams look like world championships, like and not tag like world tag teamship, like singles world championship gold. But yeah, let me know in the comments about that. But also been asked, Ricky Starks, what we have is pretty awesome. Ricky Starks continued by stating that what he and Bill have is awesome. Or no, I'm saying like Ricky said, like what is awesome. Like Ricky by stating that what he and have is awesome. He noted that he thought people like it even if they wish he was a singles competitor. He he explained, yeah, I think people like it. People like it. He said they still like wish that I was a singles competitor, but what we have right now, me and Big Bill, we're making it pretty awesome. I think Starks also agreed that the tag team division is deep and very talented, but he's happy to have moved on from feuding with Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara after defeating them in a street fight at AEW Battle of the Belts Part 9 on last week's after on last week after the late of that week's episode of AEW Collision, I should say. But what's your thoughts on Ricky Starks saying it's very deep, very talented, very like so packed with nothing but tag teams, like in the tag team division in AEW, which that's like duplicately speaking, but it's the facts about like what's the tag team. Like it packed up a tag teams. Like hopefully it's not too many, but they got so many like they don't have to worry about somebody getting an opportunity. They don't have no division to put on the tag team match and even tag team put on tag team championships for the fact that Tony Khan is a massive fan of tag team wrestling, the total opposite of Vince McMahon. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts on to Ricky Starks' comments. Even he said like he's doing very well as a tag team, which he's saying fans may some fans may think and wish that he still was a single star rather than being known as a tag team star. But he's still doing successful. They get a belt like something that he should be more upgraded to, like very prestigious in AEW right now. But next up, we got some Alexis King news now, as Alexis King says Carmelo Hayes hooked him up with his barber, and, and this is what the second generation superstar had to say about Carmelo by thanking him about this thanking him uh thanking him by hooking him up with his own his with his new well, I mean right, hooking him up with his barber, I should say, like for for his new look in NXT, WWE NXT, like superstar Alexis King was a recent guest on Insight with Chris Van Vliet. When asked about about his unique hairstyle, King revealed that Carmelo Hayes hooked him up with his barber in Orlando. He's He said everybody joked they're like, oh, Trick and Mello must have hooked him up with their barber, but that's actually what happened. Lex Lexus King said. So I got a comment on his cell phone number at the time. I said, hey man, where's the best barber in Orlando? He's like, don't worry, man, I'll hook you up with don't worry, man, I'll hook you up with Charlie. That's what he said. So I hit up Charlie, and I've never had this happen. I've never had it done before. Asked for was a haircut similar to what I had in AEW in previous years. I'm just like, line me up sharp and make me look good. And he adds all the color. He adds all the whatever it's called, the brown and the really dark in in your beard. But I didn't know he was going to do that. I'm going to do that. This is my first cut with this guy, and I get out of the chair, look in the mirror, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, that's it. That's it. I love it. So people that are sugar honey iced tea on it, I love it. I I got out of that chair and I was like, hell yeah, I started looking Domin Dominican Dominican myself. I mean uh he's per I say Peruvian 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 but I started looking like I was Hispanic, and I thought, man, this is it. Like the lines are so sharp, and it looks like it's drawn on. King King went on to speak about the first time the NXT roster got a look at his new hairstyle and how it became an instant hit in the locker room. He said, "I think I was getting my photos done." Alexis King recalled, "I didn't even have a segment or anything. So I got the spray tan, and then my beard was all done up, and I go there, and it was just an instant hit with the locker room. Like everybody was just like." You look like the most evil villainous heel in the history of like so once it caught on online because obviously I hadn't seen the reaction yet, but once I went out there and it started catching on, and so I just leaned into it, and now I just have a routine. And oh, just a moment, I'll help you out. Just I'm just reading this article, and I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna tell the thing. Oh, okay, excuse me for a second.
Yeah. Do you want to speak about psychology in the living room or in the bed?
All right, I'm back. Wait, I bet you're wondering. I got a popsicle. My nephew asked me to get one for him and also for myself, I guess. So I guess I just grabbed this one, and I understand why I just did it for. But yeah, my nephew asked me for this popsicle because considering my outfit. But anyways, back to the interview of Alexis King. Yeah, right here. They put me. Now I started. The fuck? Oh no! I already said that. That and then my beard was all done up, and I go there, and it was just instant hit with the locker room. Like everybody was like, "You look like the evil's villain, a villainous heel in the history of like." So once it caught online, because obviously I hadn't seen the reaction yet, but once I went out there and it just started catching on, and so I just lean into it, and now I just have a routine, and the routine hasn't changed everything. Tuesday, every Tuesday before TV, Charlie me uh, does me up very nice. Urban barber for those for you in the Orlando, Florida, Tampa area. I really, I mean, he's drives like around. He's got a bus, like, but Alexis King reveals the best price of the best, the best, reveals the best. That's what I'm saying. My bad. The best piece of advice he received from John Cena. What are you guys' thoughts? What are your guys' thoughts on Alexis King getting hooked up on a barber by Carmelo Hayes? And he recently was in a program with the former NXT champion from last month's pay per view and last year in 2023 at NXT Deadline. I also made a review on it. And yeah, Carmelo Hayes defeated him in that match. But since then, they haven't been or nowhere around each other since then, like in NXT. But it shows you, even when they play, it shows you that even if they play bitter rivals on TV, that doesn't mean it reflects on it's like in real life. Unless like not all the time, but unless it was like previously, and then they cooled down their beef with each other in the past, and they used it turned into a storyline on TV. But let me know in the comments down below and what your thoughts onto this. Like with him also mentioning that everybody be joking around with him, and had the he got hooked up by Trick and Mello's barber, which that was actually the case. Next up, we got some Dirty Django news now. Um, on it, on Oleg, uh, Oleg's Prudius return to wrestling, he didn't forget anything he nailed in first take. We got Dirty Dango. Was happy to have a leg Prudius like in his corner. Wrestle's own Bill Pritchard spoke with Dirty Dango. Oleg Prudius returned talked to Dirty about Oleg Prudius return into the pro wrestling scene. Prudius, aka WWE's former Vladimir Kozlov, currently work in TNA as a part of Dirty Dango's uh, entourage. Like Dango said, Prudius is in great shape, and it doesn't look like he's missed the beat. He said he looks better, like as aesthetically now, I think, than he did back in WWE. He's in great shape, Dango said. I hope I look look that good in a couple of years. He he looks great. He's jacked. Prudius hasn't wrestled full time in more than a decade, but he's teamed with Dango three times in TNA so far. I was worried about his first match, like 11 years, which was on a November 9th, 2023 episode of Impact Wrestling. And I feel like all the the stunt the stunt work he's done over the last 10 or 12 years is very similar to wrestling, where you're remembering spots and you're going through 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 the motion. So his match was great, and he didn't forget anything. He went right right out there and nailed it first time. Pick right up where he left and off to. Damn it. And it says right here also, like remembering the spots you were going through and through the motion. Like, so his match was great, and he didn't forget anything. He went right out there and nailed it first take. He picked up where he left off for sure. Like, is that Oleg Prudis? Like, it has been building his resume in Hollywood, including roles in John Wick 2 and HBO's The Wire. Dango said John Wick 2, or China's Wolf Warriors 2 is is his favorite of Oleg's film, but it's fun to see where he pop up. He 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 explained, "You'll just be watching a movie, and then I feel like Oleg just kind of pops up in it. He here and there, just randomly. Then you rewind it and ask, Is that a leg? He he just gets a shot or hit, or he just shot or he hip thrust hip thrust someone, and he gets thrown off a bridge or something. But yeah, he made a good career outside of wrestling. Kind of when he left WWE, that Dangle said he's done a lot of acting. What are your thoughts on Dirty Dango? Like seeing a former WWE seeing the former WWE wrestler making a return in pro wrestling, even though it's not exactly in WWE, their rather than their former rival promotion, this Nashville based company, aka TNA Wrestling. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. And what's your thought on him explaining with him being on movies, which yeah, I heard plenty of stunt devils with him being in very most popular movies, but playing as the villain, and usually gets killed off on those said movies, like whether if he gets shot or thrown over the bridge or whatever he may get cut off as, which is very unfortunate. Even though that's it all that looks like him when you see his figure, like he looks like a villain, someone that he could play a very good villain on a TV series or TV or even on a movie on movies. Yeah, yeah, that the hero would usually defeat in the end. But yeah, like I think he was wasted potential, like for sure when he came to WWE. Like from trying to push him from being a big main event player, then from then to being from being one of William Regal's henchman bodyguards to being a comedic tag team with Santino Marella, and yeah, they may have won the tag team championships, but it didn't really they didn't really benefit off of it. Like, what was the point of putting them in a comedic tag team division, and what was the point of making them like a main event worthy competitor for the WWE Championship and never held in that title because uh, uh, somebody either in creative of that time or Vince McMahon stopped pushing him. For some reason, Vince McMahon stopped pushing him for being such a very uh, being such a threat on Climax later this year. This week on TNA Impact, Josh Alexander defeated Will Ospreay in the main event of the show with one win apiece. It doesn't seem like the rubber match will take place anytime soon. However, Ospreay wants to see huge things for the walking weapon in 2024. The the aerial assassin took to to social media to praise both TNA Wrestling and Josh Alexander, tweeting out, TNA is back, so much respect for Walking Weapon. He is without a doubt like the right guy to have leading a charge. I would want nothing more to see you in the G1 this year. Thank you for allowing me to tick off the letters that created me. Impact Wrestling like will like like photo emoji with a BZI Impact, like what Osprey said. And what are your thoughts on Will Osprey about wrestling Josh Alexander again but this time in a G1 climax, G1 climax tournament in the G1 climax tournament, I should say, which I would say that could happen. That's if Josh Alexander would love to wrestle at the annual New Japan Climax G1 tournament, I should say. And do you think he will? And they'll have a rubber match with Osprey? And if they do, who would win? Let me know in the comments down below. Or do you think it won't happen and won't see this match until maybe in the next year or so? Which I'm gonna let you guys to decide that matter. Which we could see have a rubber match, whether Josh Alexander leaves TNA and go to either AEW, New Japan, or wherever it may be, or will Osprey have a match with him in TNA, which I'm not sure if it will be this year though, which will probably be next year, considering he's gonna be in a deal with AEW, and AEW is no longer a partners with TNA Impact, so it will be more likely kind of a highly probable situation unless it's not interfering with his working duties. Then I'd say he will have a match, but even for that, I don't think they'll have anything scheduled for him to face the Ariel. I'm not sure if they'll have a TNA will have any plans or ideas to have Josh Alexander to face the Aerial Assassin, even if he did show up, unless that he has some free time for on the card and for Josh Alexander to have one final match with him, to make this a trilogy. But anyway, let's move on to the next wrestling news, and that is Trish Stratus says 2023 was a good year. And teased another WWE return in 2024. Trish Stratus, 2020, but anyways, still having these silly allergies. But anyways, 2023 saw the return of multiple wrestlers to WWE. Some of them were legends and Hall of Famers. One such star as Trish Stratus. She wrestled a lot last year and concluded her return by wrestling Becky Lynch inside a steel cage. Recently, the WWE Hall of Famer took to Twitter to look back at her run in 2023 and teased returning to the squared circle this year, with her tweeting, "Hello 2024, but first here's a look back at last year, and if you thought 2023 was good, one look out 2024." Trish Stratus tweeted. And here's a video of it as well, but I'm going to show you the caption first.
don't care what y'all say. I don't care what.
But what's your thoughts on this video and this post from the multi-time women's champion? Let me know in the comments down below. Do you think this could be perhaps a return to WWE for another run with the Stanford-based promotion, or this is just a tease and she has done everything that she wanted to do in her second run? But at the same time, she said there's other matches she'd never experienced before, so she could come back for at least one more time, and we could possibly see her as champion. Even though she was like some kind of a like a what's that an interim champion by filling in for Lita when Becky Lynch was facing off against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. But everything didn't go through, and this is where Trish Stratus turned heel, which we had a long 6-month rivalry, I believe, which Trish Stratus got the first win off of the from the former SmackDown and Raw Women's Champion, and which was at Champions, I believe, and then this is where we finally got Becky Lynch facing her again, like on the random episode of Raw in August, which still was a missed opportunity that they didn't put her in a match on a match in October of 2023. Like not October, it was back in August. I mean, which was a missed opportunity, but it turned into a no contest, which they attacked Becky and it was it ended in a DQ, which they finally did had a rematch in September, which was in a steel cage at the Payback pay-per-view, which Becky Lynch won, and that's what ended the rivalry, which we haven't seen her since then, and we could see her as one of the surprise entrants at this year's Women's Royal Rumble pay-per-view. And do you think that will be the case, or do you think that she's just trolling online on Twitter specifically? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. I think she could make a return, and she's gonna start it off like as soon as tonight's as soon as next Saturday's annual Royal Rumble event by being entered as one of the surprising women that made a return for at least a one-off. But until then, let me know in the comments down below. Set your thoughts in the comments. Well, let's move on to the next wrestling news, which we're going to talk about. Ash by Elegance, FKA Dana Brooke opens up about the emotion surrounding her free agency exit from WWE before she officially begins her journey in TNA wrestling. Ash by Elegance, formerly known as Dana Brooke, looks back on her departure from WWE. In September 2023, WWE released several talents from their contracts, one of which was former 24/7 champion Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke spent 10 years under the WWE umbrella, most recently returning to NXT to help elevate some of the brand's up and coming stars. During an interview with Ring the Bell, Brooke, now known as Ash by Elegance, opened up about the emotion surrounding her release in WWE and subsequent free agency. She said, "It was like crazy emotions going on through on my head." Brooke said, I had to contain all of them and put them all together and say that this is what's best at being in WWE was an amazing experience. It was a great platform that it gave me to be out there and spread my message and inspire other people. But it was time. It was definitely time to explore other options. I want to be in control of my destiny. He said, want to be the one to now that I can go out there and I can win this and championship, I can go out there and achieve my goals and achieve my dreams throughout 10 years of wrestling with WWE. Again, I can say anything bad about it, but it was time for me to spread my wings and fly and take control of what I want. Wrestling has become such a passion of mine. I I love being in that ring, and I love performing. TNA was TNA was just the perfect fit for me. It was a fit that made sense. That made sense. I have worked with a lot of talent like that are in TNA. Everybody was like, "You're going to love it here. This is the place to be. You you want to get out. You want to get out there and you